Great minds think alike. I was leaning towards live as well because it is live. Appreciate it, Chuck. So okay, cool. I think we'll rock with Sing Producer Live. I like that. So that'll be the name of the new show. LW says live is better. Shout out to LW. We agree tonight. The legendary LW. Remember, we have to put legendary in front of there. Jared's rocking with live. All right, dope. All right, let's go and see if we got some wins in the community. See if these producers been putting in some work. And yes, I believe we do. I think let me see. We talked about Michael Connor's TV, his like physical, literal TV placement win last week. So Tunde just got an EP accepted. He says, had a video call the other day with the company and was told their whole board loved my music and that my music is what their library was missing. Wow. To hear such words means so much. It's crazy. Just waiting for the contract now. If you haven't heard, I'll leave a link. That's a win. I love to see it. That's huge, man. Anytime you got everybody, all the decision makers at the company saying that's a win. And I love that. So there's kind of like a lesson in that too, because sometimes, so what I typically teach producers, right, is, kind of be a specialist, right? Find a style of music that you do best. And then, when you're doing your research, see if the music licensing companies kind of align with that. Now, this can go one of two ways. Either, yes, it aligns. They have music like that. They represent music like that. It's a good fit. Or they may not have a ton of the kind of music you do, but there could still be a need in the marketplace for that. So you could kind of be a guy to fill in the gap and be a go-to source for a style of music that they may need more of. So sometimes, it's just a matter of just starting the conversation and seeing what their needs are and seeing if you can fill in the gap. Because, it's possible that you produce a style of music that they just have a bunch of and they really don't have a need for any new music like that. So I think there's a great lesson in that. Shout out to the Tunde for that win. Super dope. Love to see it. Let's keep it going. Shout out to Jason Carpenter. We had a birthday earlier this week. So shout out to Jason celebrating the birthday. Love to see it. James McGregor back to pitching. Good day, Hub fam. My current work schedule took me away from producing music for what seems like forever. Just completed a new hip-hop playlist, and I'm back to pitching, adding up the small wins, achieving my daily goals, trusting the process. Let's grow. Love to see it. Shout out to Jason Dowdy dropping birthday cake for the other Jason. Team Jason's out here, the Jasons. Love to see it. And shout out to James, man. He's back to work after working. So I get that, man. I think he was like on touring or something like that. So great stuff. Good to see you back on the grind and getting those sync wins. Courtney with an update. My new Jack Swing cue has been accepted. This marks the first cue this library has accepted after a year and a half of being signed with them. Wow. So Courtney had shared her new Jack Swing track in the community, and she was just like, I don't know, I don't know if I nailed it or whatever, but here's my stab at it. And as soon as I listened to it, I was like, nah, she nailed this joint. From like sound selection to like just the whole vibe was new Jack Swing all day. So super excited to see that track got accepted by the library, and love the fact that she stayed consistent after like a year and a half of being signed with them, and boom, got a cue accepted, which listen, y'all dropping gems in here like unintentionally. A year and a half. So most producers will pitch a few tracks and not see any traction like for a month, right? Let's just say it's a month. And then they just give up after that. They're just like, yo, they're not accepting my music. It's not a good fit. And then they just forget about it. But like, this is a lesson in persistency and just continuing to try again. Like literally the only difference between Courtney and you is Courtney didn't stop. So like if you just keep going, like again, always say like even if your production is not where where it needs to be, just continue to work on your production and then resubmit again. If your mixes aren't where they need to be, continue to work on your mixes and then submit again. Like as long as you don't stop, eventually, as long as you're learning and you're applying yourself, you're going to get better. Your skills are going to improve. You're getting your reps up. Something will have to shake after a while of just repetitive growth. And Courtney just basically showed us that with that win. So shout out to Courtney. Love to see it. Beats by Wooga. I think that's how you pronounce it. 100,000 plays. It's not sync related, but my beat store just passed 100,000 lifetime plays. I started it late 2019 and had only 10,000 plays by early 2021. Then through hard work and consistency, I've been averaging roughly 25K a year plays now, which is mind blowing to me. Again, consistency and just not giving up. The same, like it's a principle, right? Meaning it doesn't only apply to sync. It applies to whatever you do. Beats by Wooga has a beat store. The same principle he applied to the beat store. Now he passed 100,000 plays. It's just consistency, man. If you stay consistent in anything, things work. Like consistency has a weird way of just making stuff work. You just got to be consistent. We got another win, man. We loaded up this week with wins. Like half the shows is going to be wins, apparently. Miguel. No, I got a DJ. My guy Wooga. Miguel, first placement royalties came in. My royalties for my first placement just came in. To be honest, expected it to be higher. I know that feeling. Expected it to be higher, but instead of feeling bummed out, I chose to believe that if I made $11, I'm able to make more. That's a fact. The mere fact that I was able to get paid for a work I created means that this has potential to 10x. Plus, if I were to just release that instrumental on streaming service instead of using it for sync, I would most likely not have made even a penny off of it. So let's keep working hard to keep scaling this higher and higher. Let's go. Again, another lesson. That first royalty check will not be life-changing, most likely, unless you're like, I don't know, you're like that one in a million where you just, I don't know, you got a super dope placement. But usually, that first one, man, it's not crazy, right? But the dope thing is you now have proof of concept. So Miguel has a royalty check, something tangible that he can look at and say, I put my music to work and it generated something, which means if I can do the work to generate this $11, like he said, I can do more work and it'll generate more money. And then you have more tracks. As these tracks that got him $11 continue to work for him, now he's continuing to build a catalog, and those royalty checks are going to grow exponentially. Like it'll jump up, man. It's interesting to see how it works. It starts small, and then you may get another few small ones, and then you'll see like a jump, and then you're in the hundreds. Then it may go down a little bit, and then you'll see another jump. And you're like, oh snap! Like now I'm in the thousands. So it's just like the growth is exponential as long as your work is consistent, and it'll eventually start to compound. And then you go from getting a chicken sandwich to a full chicken combo, and you may be able to even get the large and add a dessert to it. It just depends on how much work you're trying to put in. So shout out to Miguel, man. That's a win. I love to see it. Let's go. Oh, we got another win. Made it to BMG Productions playlist. One of the libraries I submit to have notified me that all my Latin tracks have been added to a playlist curated by BMG themselves. This is great because he says that if they get added to a playlist by them, there's bigger chances of getting placements. That's a fact. Shout out to BMG. BMG put in work. So another win. Man, they just keep coming, y'all. Drop some fire emojis if y'all feeling these wins this week. This was a winning week. Mouth is dry. All these wins. Let me see, man. All right, there we go. Fire, fire. Let's go. I hope y'all motivated, man. Are y'all motivated? Type yes in the chat if y'all motivated from seeing these wins.